what I really want to know is this just fantasy? I can't believe what's going on right here, but I am reminded of musicians from some time in my not too distant past. I want to know, is this just fantasy? So I've got these moments. I probably some hallucinating is going on, between the meds and the disease itself. Sometimes it gets a little bit tricky trying to decide, is this just fantasy or is this the real thing going on here? But whatever it is, I can tell you there are certain fantasies that just aren't bad at all. I'm rather enjoying myself here. And one of the things that's going on is how much I'm enjoying things, whether they're there or not. This may be really happening to me. This may not be happening to me. Might be happening to somebody else. But whatever it is, I am being given this, I don't know if it's a reprieve or what you would call it, but I'm having a wonderful time in here. And there's part of me that doesn't really care what you think about it or if it's really happening or not. I'm just having a very good time in here. And one of the things that's happening, and I have to say, unless you've caught me on videotape before doing this, this is a first time thing for me. I, Dorothy Mullen, feel sorry for myself. And I have not had a dying process characterized by feeling sorry for myself until very recently when I started having these fantasies. And what's coming up now, and I think it's probably about high time that I let myself go here, but I'm feeling anticipatory losses. That's definitely about time. I should be feeling, by now, I should be feeling anticipatory losses. I'm feeling the losses of things that I'm never going to do because of the choices that I made. And I love all of the choices that I've made. But certainly, I made some choices that put me on a path of service where, somebody else might have made some other choices. But I decided this path, or these paths really, because the video series has now become one of my little pathways, where there are really things that I want to get done, and I feel good about being the kind of person who wants to get stuff done. But now, all I can think about is all the recipes that I am never going to make. I am never going to go through the old joy of cooking or Julia, there's all kinds of stuff that I'm never going to do again. And I thought, well, what do I care if it's real now or not? I can just go through Julia Child or the old joy of cooking or whatever I want to do. And I can be having my own good time here off in my little bird sanctuary. I've got one teeny little room off the kitchen that's now become like my bird sanctuary. What do I care if it's all fantasy? I don't care at all. So I'm letting myself go to a couple of places and one of them is into the family that I'm never going to have because my grandson is only a year and a half old. And I had so much living in me and so much life. There was so much I wanted to do with myself while I still could have a productive life. I mean, we all know I'm productive, but I just had these things that I wanted to do that fall broadly under the lines of I wanted to save the world with food. I came as close as I possibly could to saving the whole damn world with food. And now in my fantasy life, I'm saving the world with food in a different way. So I'm now going through the old recipe book from The Joy of Cooking and the brand new version, completely not marked up yet, and pulling out the old favorites, and I'm even making some of them. I'm even, with my last little bit of strength, I'm even making old styled cup custard, and I'm making some of those breakfast, what do you call them? Breakfast layered things. Strata. We used to call them breakfast strata. Think of all those years. I did not have wheat and dairy and wheat and cheese and all of these things that were so delicious that we all thought were health food 10, 20, 40, 50 years ago. And maybe they are still health food, especially if I go over to the Whole Earth Center and I get the organic cheeses and so forth. So in my real day, sometimes in my real day, and in my fantasy day, I'm making breakfast strata, and I'm grating cheese. Violet's helping me with, anything where I'm not strong enough to do things like hold the cheese grater anymore, and I'm just having a blast. And if I need to take a nap in the middle, I take a nap in the middle, and sometimes I'm sort of in this hazy state, a twilight phase, where I can't really tell, did I actually make that recipe? Half the time the answer is yes, she helps me and I make the recipe, and half the time the answer is, well, no, I didn't make that recipe. But whatever it is between the disease and the medications, I'm okay with that. I am really okay with having this marvelous fantasy around all the Sunday dinners that I'm never going to cook with my grandson, and all of the beautiful things that we're going to do together, whether they're really going to happen in life or if they're just going to happen in my little twilight phase. So I just want whoever cares about this kind of stuff to know that there is great beauty in losing check with reality sometime. It's not all that bad, and of course a lot of it is, thank God for hospice care and the ability to watch oneself slide into dying in the most beautiful possible way, because I can't imagine that I could never have imagined that I would have such a good experience watching myself slide into this. And if you haven't heard me say it before, I'll say it one more time. From what I can tell, it starts from the moment of acceptance. I would not be able to do any of this if I were in denial, grinding my way through, efforting my way through to force myself into acceptance. It's happening because I made that choice. I'm still trying to figure out if this is just fantasy or if this is the real thing, but here I am back again feeling this is really beautiful. And I think that there is something going on with death preparation. At the moment, what I'm perceiving is that there is some beautiful, perhaps even choreographed preparation that makes me more ready to go. And I felt it in terms of, things that I enjoy doing or have enjoyed doing, like cooking, are easier to imagine now. I just place myself in this space where I can hunker down in my pillows and more happily imagine myself doing these things.